With me is Field Marshal Sarath Fonseka, and he, of course, has announced his candidature for the upcoming Sri Lankan presidential elections. Welcome to WION here in front of India Gate and here in Delhi. And my first question to you, sir, is an obvious one. What is your key motivation to stand for the upcoming presidential elections in your country?
Because over a period of time, last about 7 decades, a lot of leaders have administered this country. They have promised a lot of things, but they all did the same thing. Final outcome was same. Their political culture, they followed the same. Even now, there are many people trying to appear for the presidential election. And looking at them, I feel that they are following the same political culture. They are talking almost same stuff what the previous people have been talking. So I personally don't feel that there is proper leadership in the country to take the country on a different direction, to guide the country on the direction what the people are asking. They are asking for a system change. So the present leaders, they have not understood the message given by the people. They are only talking about promising a lot of things and doing the same type of politics, same political culture. So I think definitely a dark horse is to come and a person who love the country, love the people, who has the backbone to do the right thing. There is a issue in our country. The biggest problem what the people are facing now is the corruption has engulfed the country, and impunity also is all over. So to stand against those things, I think I have the courage, I have the confidence. I thought I will give a try and see. I hope the people will understand. I think I am trying to come out with what the people are asking for.
So now, essentially, if we talk about your presidential election candidature, what will be the key election plan for you? I mean, whether it's economy, because we know that Sri Lanka faced the economic crisis, or will there be any other issue that you will be fighting on, that this will be my key focus area on which I will be cornering the other candidates?
Yeah, I will definitely give the priority for the corruption and discipline for the country. There is underworld, there is drug mafia in the country, doing a lot of damage. Even our future generation is being misled, and they are destroying them. So that has to be top priority. Then I will turn towards the economy, obviously. We have a lot of economists in the country, even in the past. What they do is they are meddling with the available little bit of money. They're shifting it from here and there. But I don't think they have been creative enough, think new, and trying to identify the prospective areas, the weak areas. So I have identified certain areas. When it comes to economy, we have to give priority. Like first of all, we have to give our people food to eat. Our people are weak now; they have no food, so their health is deteriorating. So therefore, I think the agriculture, the livestock, fisheries, they have to be given priority. Then we have another huge issue. Our public transport system is very weak. Everybody is trying to make use of their own transport. So therefore, a lot of money is wasted on gas, a lot of foreign exchange is wasted on fuel, diesel, petrol, etc. Then we have to improve on that. Then obviously, I will give priority for the education and health, because the standards of education and health has gone down in our country. There are about almost 10,000 schools without even a toilet. The facilities are very bad. So therefore, the government sponsorship has to be given to education, to develop the education. Then the health conditions are very poor. Now a lot of even the medicine is not available in the government sector hospitals. Even the poor people have to go to private hospitals. They can't afford to now. The prices have been chucked up. So therefore, health has to be given priority. So likewise, I am thinking on those lines. And on the other hand, the foreign exchange earnings, the exports will have to be given the backing by the government. We have to definitely improve on our exports. The government must take responsibility, be a shareholder in that. On the other side, the tourism, because we have all the resources in our country, but we are not doing as good as even some smaller countries in the region when it comes to tourism. So tourism has been neglected. The people have not been creative enough. Those who are responsible they are not smart enough. They are not efficient enough to improve on the tourist industry. So those are the areas. I am sure when these areas are taken care of, in a very short period, 2 to 3 years time, the people will feel the difference. They'll start feeling the difference. 5 years, we'll definitely reach some standards. 7, 8 years, we'll definitely be able to double the per capita income. Not double, maybe even triple. So I have a vision like that. I think it will work.
Sir, if I go into the past, in 2010 also, you stood and you lost. What makes you hopeful that this time around that you will be able to get a good number?
Yeah, 2010, the situation was different. People were over enthusiastic after seeing the victory, war victory. So the politicians started marketing the war victory very efficiently. The people were taken for a ride. But after 2019, the new president came, Gotabaya Rajapaksa. People have now realized those who were marketing the war victory was not the real owners of that victory. They were not the people who are responsible for that victory. So that's on one hand. But the same political culture continued, and those who have got, who are enthusiastic, the people, the public, just due to the war victory, now they have realized the war victory is not everything. They have realized the politicians are neglecting on the other side. The politicians have only concentrated on corruption, commissions, bribes, and at the same time the law and order in the country has been going downwards, rock bottom. So therefore the people have now realized the type of leadership what we need for the country is different. They realize the weaknesses and the bad symptoms of this political culture and these politicians who have been running the country. So therefore I think we have to anyway to bring a new era to the country. New faces still have to come. A new leadership has to come. So I think I am experienced enough. I have proved myself once when I told the promised the nation that I'll finish the terrorism, I'll finish it. I said 3 years, I finished in 2 years, 9 months. I upheld the promise I gave to the nation. I am in the habit of fulfilling the promises I give so people can trust me. I don't just try to take people for a ride for me to move up, for my prosperity or my advantages. But I think this time again I'll give them a promise. I'll say that I will look after the interests of the country. I'll definitely pull the country out of this rut.
So you made an important point. You said that the politicians were able to market the victory. Now, you are a war hero. I mean, you are essentially responsible for the defeat of the group, the LTTE. And essentially, when it comes to you being the face of it, how will you be able to talk about it and perhaps get that support?
Get support of what?
Of the people.
Yeah,
in the elections.
The people must, now there is no other war for me to fight. There is no need to fight any other wars. But the people must know that I had the capacity to give a promise and fulfill it. And people should realize I did that. I achieved that victory through my own confidence, through my own the grit and the courage and all that. So the present situation compared with defeating the LTT, defeating the corruption and the underworld and all that is nothing.
Okay.
So I think I can definitely do that.
Any plans to join hands with post-election results, join hands with any of the political leaders in your country? I mean, any plans? I don't want to name anyone, but anyone in your mind?
No, the situation is like this. The people have rejected all the politicians. During the struggle 2 years ago, 2022, they said all politicians, all the parliamentarians must go home. So I also believe that 50% of them are corrupt. And then another about 35% who are not corrupt maybe, but they are doing politics just to become VVIPs. Not because they love the country or the people, or not because they have a vision, not because they are capable. So in that background, with that backdrop, I think people will want a change. and I should be able to truly, if I am interested, of course I am interested, do the right thing and make a change definitely.
Uh, what will be your focus towards relationship with India?
India has been our the closest brother, the relation for long time historically, maybe 2,000 years or more. So obviously, whatever we do here, mostly India likes to maintain the best of relationship with us. We prefer to maintain the highest relationship with India. India, obviously, the regional power. So we will ensure that from our side, we will not try to upset the aspirations of the India. Especially when it comes to the security sentiments, we have to ensure that we don't rub India, try to even attempt to rub India on the wrong side and try to interfere with their security sentiments. Of course, we can, as far as the regional security is concerned, we can be shareholders, we can be partners. So therefore, I think relationship with India will be upheld all the time.
There's another contentious issue, if I may use the word, that is the Tamil issue. There is the 13th Amendment, which India has been talking about as well. There are Sri Lankan politicians also talking about early implementation. What will be your policy if you come to power in Sri Lanka?
Now, talking about 13th Amendment, all the politicians just trying to harness the votes in the north and east, the minority votes. They come and give promises. But that's a very sensitive issue. So if I strongly believe, and it is nothing but right for us to treat everybody alike in the country. There can't be second-class citizens. But 13th Amendment, since it has become a sensitive issue, we have to be a little careful giving any promises on that or trying to implement it. Because it must be acceptable to the people in the south also. Otherwise, if we do something and the hatred, suspicion, mistrust, all that increases between the communities, then we have not achieved anything. So therefore, I personally feel, first we have to improve the economy of the country. For example, say at least the per capita income has become double or maybe a little more than that. When the quality of life has improved in the country, then the people start thinking differently. Then the issues relating to people, the political issues, certain issues, they will not be able to be taken for right. They will not be interested about some of the issues. And I think we have to first bring the country and the people to that level to think like that. Then you can definitely go for the solutions. Otherwise, whatever anybody tries to do will be only a political gimmick, not with the correct intention.
So, from looking at your answer, I feel that you're quite not committal on the 13th Amendment, and perhaps you're giving much frank picture as well. But what's your solution to this issue?
No, I am definitely committed. But what I was saying was the practicability of implementing it, how we should come, what time we should come, how it will be applicable to the acceptable to the people. So that the final outcome will not be another case of mistrust, suspicion and hatred. So it should be very carefully. First you have to prepare the background for it, then go for the power devolution and all that.
Sir, maybe I can digress to another topic, which is the big story, what's happened in Bangladesh. We know that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is no longer the Prime Minister. She's left the country. And we saw similar situation in your country as well. Almost similar, the protesters storming the residence as well. What do you have to say about the development in Bangladesh?
The situations are slightly different in each cases. Bangladesh, we saw for last 10 years, it was developing very fast. But the leader who came to our country in 2019, from day one, he started messing up. Wrong decisions and in every aspect we were failing. So still, peace-loving people in our country took about 5 months to chase the president away at that time. There are a lot of patient people. Finally, it became unbearable and they stood against him. But here, I think due to one or two couple of bad decisions taken, which are not especially acceptable to the students and the youth, the decisions like this quota system and all that. So they have stood against the government, but government reacted very badly. Government thought that they can start shooting and control the situation. And as a result, very fast, the president and prime minister had to go home. At least in Sri Lanka, the shooting never took place. So that's why it was getting little drag, most probably. If they started shooting, they also would have been sent home very fast. Yeah, the shooting and killing innocent people, it is not acceptable in today's context in the world. In the this thing of democracy, I think she had to face the music now.
Face the music, but we have seen in the larger South Asian region, countries after countries facing this economic crisis. We saw Afghanistan, the Taliban takeover. We saw Myanmar, where the coup happened. We saw Sri Lanka, the visuals still fresh in the mind of many here in Delhi. And now Bangladesh. Why do you see these things happening in these countries?
Yeah, I believe that indicates that we still have a long way to go as far as the democracy is concerned, the economy is concerned, the lifestyle of the people are concerned, the hardships the majority of the people go through. That is why these problems are coming and going on and off. So if we can develop the region to the level of, say, Europe or the Western countries, any other developed countries in the East maybe, then gradually the thinking and the mentality of the people, all that will start falling in line. Then only you will see there is peace in the country, there is harmony, reconciliation. Then there will be less crimes, there will be less corruption. All that will take place. So it is a huge, gigantic task. But the leaders in this region must understand this. Unfortunately, leaders in my country have never understood this reality. That's why I thought that we must make a change, and so we have to stick the neck out. I was number 2 in the main opposition political party. But I realized that by sitting there and coping up with them, a bunch of politicians who does not realize this reality, that I will not be able to do any justice for the people. So therefore I am taking a risk, maybe on one hand, sticking my neck out. But I am sure the people will understand this reality this time.
Sir, you mentioned about the economic progress of the region and everything. We saw Sri Lanka going through a bad phase, where India also have $4 billion of bailout support by New Delhi. But essentially, past few months and years have seen, in fact, 1 year has seen a turnaround, and President Ranil Wickremesinghe is being publicly lauded internationally as well. Would you share the sentiment that he had a role essentially? I'm playing a devil's advocate, but how do you see his role in terms of the revival we have seen? Because we saw those long lines at the petrol station and heartbreaking visuals as well. Those visuals are no longer coming.
Yeah, so on one hand, we have to appreciate the fact that at a difficult time, he stick his neck out and took all the responsibility. When people are running away from it, like especially the opposition leader, when he was started to take over the country, he ran away from that and he was hiding himself. Even he didn't want to contest even in the parliament to become the president. So for that, of course, we give the due respect to him. Then, of course, he borrowed already over $6 billion during last 2 years. India itself has given about $4 billion. So maybe $7 billion. IMF about $3 billion. So with that, the situation has been taken under control. Not that the economy improved on the country.
Okay.
So still we can't pay our debts. Still the lifestyle or the quality of life for the people has not improved. People are going through, 70% of the people are going through a lot of hardships. They can't have even 3 meals. They can't take care of their children. They have no medicine. There is no medicine in the government hospitals. People can't afford to. A lot of issues are there. So therefore, we have a long way to go, because we didn't see improving on our exports or anything. We didn't see any improvement on the remittances. We didn't see any improvement from the tourism. Those are the main areas where we get foreign exchange. So without being able to see any noticeable improvement on those areas, we can't be happy just because we have got money from somewhere and temporarily. Okay, as you said, there are no queues because people have no money to go to gas station now. People are using less electricity, although electricity is available.
Mhm.
The water, the cost has gone up about 3 times.
Mhm.
So people have a lot of problems. Transportation is expensive. So obviously people have a lot of problems.
Mhm.
I don't think we can, if we just say that everything is fine and try to be happy with what is there at the moment on ground,
Mhm.
then we are very foolish.
Mhm.
That is not what we must aim at.
Mhm.
At least by this time, we could have seen some development, some improvement on the exports or the tourism in those areas.
Mhm.
But nothing of that sort has happened.
Mhm. Um, so quite a interesting interview with you, but I like to end this interview on another interesting question. We saw India and Sri Lanka announcing that they will work on a land bridge connecting India and Sri Lanka. What's your view on this land bridge? How do you see
I
it?
think that is a good move, correct move on the right direction.
Uh-huh.
Because if we want to be open to the rest of the world,
Mhm.
we can't be living in watertight compartments. We can't have this island mentality all the time.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's a very, because we can always trust India.
Mhm.
There's no reason for us to be worried because India does not have to exploit Sri Lanka.
Mhm.
If they want to develop their economy, they have enough resources. They are already the third power in economy, third economical power in the world.
Mhm.
So I think that is a good opportunity,
Uh-huh.
and that is a good start, I think.
Mhm.
And also, I want to mention that investment coming from India,
Mhm.
we are hopeful. Definitely, we must encourage that because there are a lot of people who are doing large business in India.
Mhm.
So I think as it is Sri Lanka, our businesses, everything is at fairly at a lower level,
Okay.
long way to go.
Mhm.
So therefore, we have to welcome investment. Uh, India is the neighbor, the closest and economic giant already.
Mhm.
So I think we have to think on those lines.
Mhm. One additional question, it just came into my mind. India is seen as a card in the regional politics. We saw in Maldives the anti-India movement. We have seen that in Bangladesh, various shades, Nepal as well, in Sri Lanka as well to a certain extent. How do you see India as a card in the regional politics? Do you think that this is India's name is being soiled in many senses? Because we have seen politicians misusing India's name in own domestic politics. Even when they come to power, they do turn very pro-India. That also we have seen.
No, obviously the existence of India we can't ignore in the region. India is already the regional power as far as the defense is concerned or the economy is concerned. So when we try to be shareholders in the world politics, world economy, so obviously uh, the conduct of India will affect us, the directly or indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing we can do about it. We have to live with that. It's not only in this region. In any region, it will be in the reality. So anybody trying to see get unnecessary alarm with that is most probably unnecessary. We must understand that we have to face the reality. We have to make the most of it. If a neighboring country is developing, rather than trying to declare them as our enemies or our threat to our existence, the best thing is to have the closest cooperation and try to benefit out of it.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION. It was lovely speaking to you on a whole range of issues, whether it's your candidature, whether it's an India relationship, or whether how do you plan to make sure that Sri Lankan economy is on track post the elections. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you very
speaking to
much.
WION.